Get your snacks, your drinks, and your smokes, and get ready because Lostboys Cypher Circle is back in session. Welcome back. This is Lostboys Cypher Circle. If you didn't know, now you do. This is home of all things artistic. If you got a song, a poem, a story, or just a conversation you want to have, or some artwork you want to show off, this is the place to come get your thoughts and your feelings heard, free of judgment, and just have a really cool, chill conversation with some really cool, chill, talented people. If you're interested in coming on the show, you can message me at Dylan Lawler on Facebook, or email me at lostboy420x@gmail.com. You can also go subscribe to the show or follow the show on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Samsung, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. And that is, also we have a new segment on the show we've been putting out episodes of, so keep an eye out for those. They're called Deep Cuts. They're episodes where I take you a little bit deeper by being able to have a one-on-one conversation with our artists, and just being able to talk to them for longer than I get to on the actual show. So keep an eye out for those. They're a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing them. And yeah, before I get into the show, I always like to kind of give a little shout out to the mental health community and kind of anybody who's struggling, which is pretty much everybody right now, and just say, keep your heads up. There have been tough times before. There have been dark times before. We've gotten through this before. We will get through this again. And there's always something to talk to. If you'd like to talk to me, you can always message me. There's always a friend or a coworker or somebody that you might not think that cares that does care. And if none of those work for you, you can also reach out to, thank you, Brandon. You had it up on the screen. Go ahead. The 988 Lifeline Crisis, they have trained professionals on hand to give you some guidance and talk you through some things. There's also betterhelp.com, and they will hook you up with an online therapist. And if you don't like the therapist, they'll switch you out and until you find someone you do like. So I hope someone finds some help and some guidance out there with those resources. And with that being said, that was a mouthful in my little Spider-Man water bottle. That being said, you can also donate to us if you want to. It would be much appreciated. Anything from 10 cents to $10. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Lostboy420X. Don't forget the X. And if you want to say anything during the show, ask us any questions, anything at all. Drop your comments, drop your questions down below. Thank you very much. Let's move on with the show and get to our first guest of the night. He is our newest guest on the show. His name is David Buford, or as he goes by in the poetry community, Total Poetry. He's a poet and digital marketing director. He has about 10 years of experience in marketing and sales. He creates advertisements, flyers, graphic designs, that kind of stuff, for himself and for other people. He's a really dope poet. I've heard a lot of his stuff, and I've known him for a long time, longer than I've been doing this show, longer than I honestly, I think I've known him for like a good 3-4 years now. I'm not really sure, but anyway, you can follow him on Facebook at Total Poetry or on TikTok at Total Poetry, and I think he might have created another TikTok too that I have up on his flyer. So I'm gonna play that and I'll get him up here.
Poetry is a gift, for that I will not boast, because in this life we must set aside our gifts and do what matters most. But oh, to dream, what a life, wouldn't it be grand, to make a life free from strife right from the palm of your hand. But these are things that only in dreams that one can understand. So until the day I find a way to draw such a plan, I'll be right here another year doing what I can.
Hey man, how you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful, man. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm getting over being sick. I've been sick for quite a while. I went right from having a cold to having a stomach bug, but I'm getting over it and it's good. The show must go on.
I went from work to the show, man. So,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's how we do it. I've had to, I was actually supposed to work today, but I called out because I was puking last night, literally 24 hours ago. I was puking. But I was like, if I'm not puking by 9 o'clock tonight, I'm still doing the show. And so I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm excited to have you on, man. Like I said,
I got my dang coffee with me, and yeah, we're ready to
hell yeah,
freaking roll, man. Ready to roll.
yeah,
I'm just hoping that we can remember everything perfectly. That's all.
yeah. No,
But
you're good. I mean, but like I was saying, man, we've been talking for quite a few years now.
oh
You
yeah,
helped me out,
oh, good one.
you helped me out with quite a bit, and giving me a lot of advice and a lot of guidance. So I first of all, I really appreciate that, and I
I mean, no
it's so
problem.
great to have you. Finally, have you on. Like I've wanted to have you
Right.
on since the very first episode, and
I I I remember that. I remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know. Life is complicated. There's actually a few people still, and I've been doing this for, I mean, I think like 6, 7 months now, and there's a few people who still I've wanted to have on that I have not been able to get the chance to have on, but it is great to finally get you on here, man. So I introduced you a little bit, but if you want to talk a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do, by all
Yeah.
means.
So my name is David Buford. I go by Total Poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was 7 years old. Whenever I was a kid, I went to a foster home, got beat inside of a foster home, and developed a really, really, really bad stuttering problem. And so speech was not my strong suit. So I turned to writing. And so everything that I did was inside writing. So I got really, really, really good at writing because I got good at, technicals of writing. I was able to write things like, you know, emotion and so on and so forth, and put that into like a verbal text, and so people read my writing now and they're like, wow, like it feels like the writing is like, it feels like I'm actually there, you know what I mean? And so, and I don't know, it's just, I write I write poetry a lot because, again, you know I don't stutter as much as I used to, but every once in a while it comes back. And so, but yeah, I never lost the love for just writing, and I've been writing poetry for quite some time, since I was about between 7 and 11 years old, and I'm almost 40 now. So it's
Oh,
been it's
that's
been a
great,
while.
man, and I love that it started out as a coping mechanism for you, and that's kind of how I got my start too. Is so I when I was in, I think, like fourth grade, I had a guidance counselor who suggested to me. He was like, "Why don't we write a book?" And I was like, and in my mind, even like it seemed crazy to me because I was like, I'm 10 years old. What do you mean write a book? And he's like, well, let's write a book. We'll write a book about anger management, and and controlling your emotions, and just dealing with anxiety and stress, and how to get through it or whatever for kids. And maybe that will help you. So we wrote it, and he did most of the typing while I kind of like verbally um you know told him what I wanted or whatever. But I eventually took it. I think it was like next year in like fifth grade or sixth grade, and I started writing more and more and more on it. And I had like this. I had. I mean, it had to be over 50 to 60 pages, which for a 10, 11
Wow.
year old, yeah. I mean, exactly. To me, 50, 60 pages. That's a book. I mean,
Yeah,
when I'm 10 or
books. Yeah,
11, that's
yeah.
and it was a self help book. And
Wow.
so yeah, it started out as like a coping mechanism for me too. So I definitely appreciated that. And that's kind of why I do like the whole mental health. I focus on the mental health aspect of the show. Not
It's
because not every
it's
poem is
really
about.
it's really, really, really important to focus on mental health, though, because
Yeah,
especially nowadays. I mean, there's so many young teens that lose their dang lives to just stress and anxiety. You know what I mean? And I was always told, you know don't take life too seriously. Nobody gets out alive. You know what I mean? Okay.
yeah,
Which obviously is true, right? Because at one point we're all gonna our numbers can actually come up. But that doesn't mean that we should rush the dang process. You know what I mean? So
right.
and so I've actually reached out to a lot of people, that were going through, bad situations, and really help them get, back onto track, because I
Mhm.
mean, it's sad. You see people that, are, they lost their dang house, they lost the kid, they lost, I mean, and it's like, for some people, they don't know how to cope with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, and when that everyone around you is just saying, "I feel bad for you. Your loss." It doesn't really help. You know what I mean?
No.
And now I know that they are trying to be kind and whatnot, but to the person that just now lost a son or a daughter or a mother or a father, you know what I mean? They're like, you
And
know,
that's kind of why, and that's kind of why I say what I say is we've had dark times before. This too shall pass. We've been through this
yeah, oh yeah,
before. We've been through times before. And I heard a great quote on one of the shows I was watching the other day. And he one of the characters said, um, humans can recover from just about anything. We can go through the toughest shit in the world, and we can get over it. All we have to
yeah,
do is survive. Physically, all that has to be is our heart has to be beating, and we can get over pretty much fucking anything. I mean,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
with
definitely.
the exceptions, you're not you. We are not one of the species that has the ability to grow our legs back or like grow a limb back. But I'm saying, like, to a certain extent, mentally and to a certain extent physically, because we are very resilient. We have the ability, as long as our heart is still beating, to recover from just about anything.
Oh yeah,
Um, especially mental abuse and um, tragedy and whatnot. It is we'll always carry it. We'll always carry it with us. It'll always be part
oh
of
yeah,
us. But we have the ability to grow and become stronger from it, as long as
yeah.
we're still alive. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Literally.
That's true. That's true. That
Yeah,
is
man. So
true.
I definitely appreciate you being like focusing on the mental. I've heard a lot of your stuff, and you definitely like it resonates with me. It resonates with me.
Yeah.
A lot of your stuff resonates with me emotionally, and the stuff
There,
you talk about, and just
there's stuff
um
I would like to write, but I can't write it. Well, I can write it, I just cannot actually post it because, like,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
have
it's
those.
like trigger warning and a freaking half. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so,
I
yeah,
have a few of those.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm like, I wish, but yeah, it's
No, I,
just.
I feel you, man. I feel you. But what's the one you're gonna be doing for us tonight?
I
The
sent you
first one, at
three.
least.
I sent you three. I'm trying to remember the ones that I sent you. My
You
bad.
sent me the gift, the
The gift.
carnival, and you
Perfect.
want to do the
We'll
gift?
do
Okay.
we'll do the gift. The
All
gift.
right.
Okay.
All right.
The
Sounds
gift.
good. I'm gonna drop myself out of here, and I'll let you get.
The gift. A baby is innocent, pure and true, showered with gifts when the mother is due. The baby is held, loved, and adored. What a precious gift you got from the Lord. You love your gift and hold it tight. You keep it safe day and night. Day by day, time will pass until your baby is grown at last. This gift you got years before, you'll give to another for rich or for poor. And if you raise your little gift well, the Lord will give them a gift as well. And if you pass on all that was taught, your legend lives on through the gift that you got.
Shit, man. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. And I think I've talked to you about this in our personal chat. My mom passed away a few years ago. And
Yeah.
just ever since she passed away, like there's just I've just thought about all these. And a really good friend of mine um, looked at me when she passed away, and she said, "Listen, Dylan, she gave you all the tools you need. She gave you all the tools you need. You just need to figure out how to use them."
Yeah.
And just like and that so that really resonated with me. It really like what we pass on to our children becomes not only our legacy but their legacy as
Their legacy,
well.
yeah. Exactly. You
I
know,
like
and
that.
well, the thing is, I mean, think about all the things that you do now because she did it whenever you was a kid, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so you know, uh, whenever kids are over, and the door's left open, the first thing you hear, are you like born in a dang barn? You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's
I
what
say,
that's what
oh
they
man, I say so many of the things my mom used to
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
God. Oh
yeah,
God.
and
I find myself. I'm like, oh, I sound like my fucking mother. I sound like my mother.
yeah,
Especially when I'm dealing with children.
yeah,
Especially when I'm dealing with children.
yeah,
It's like,
because
no, don't do that. Don't.
yeah, oh yeah.
Uh,
What do you mean?
Don't make me count to three. Fucking
What
yeah.
do you
That
mean,
kind of.
Jimmy? What do you mean Jimmy told you to do it? If Jimmy told you to jump off of a bridge, would you do it? Well, no.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so yeah, it's we learn, and whenever I was a kid, I thought that my mother and father had everything figured out. Just like whenever anybody's a kid growing up, they think their mom and dad has everything figured out. And then here being 39 years old, having two kids myself, I'm like, they didn't have everything figured out. They just wanted to make it look to us that they had everything figured out. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And that's, I mean,
So
yeah, you, and that's part of being a parent is kind of, being stronger for your kids and
oh yeah,
showing them that, you can be strong through tough times, even because, I mean, here's the thing is I saw my mom struggle and I saw like, but every parent, every kid to a certain age sort of thinks of their parent as a superhero, and then they kind of
yeah,
find out that their parent's not invincible, that the parent's not Superman. And there's that like hint of realization that can either go one of two ways. It turns into deep resentment because
mhm,
on some deep level and it happens a lot, especially when kids
yeah,
turn 18 and they move out or whatever. This deep
oh yeah,
resentment, on some level you feel like you were lied to for so many years, like this person, you thought this person was invincible and indestructible and could protect you no matter what, and then you find out they're not. And it's like finding out about Santa Claus. It's like on some deep level you feel like you've been betrayed. And or you can go the other way, and like I did, and kind of just realize like, wow, my parent was human just like me, and that like and kind of I still look at my mom as a superhero even more than I did, knowing, because here's the thing about superheroes. They're just, without the spider bite or the radioactive shit, they're still heroes because the
yeah,
radioactive
oh
bite
yeah,
or whatever is not what made them heroes. And
yeah,
that's what I kind of realized about my mom, is that it was her resilience and her mental fortitude that made her a superhero,
yeah.
quote unquote. Um, so yeah, I really resonated with that poem, man. I really appreciate it. I want to bring these other guests up and see what they thought about it. Um, James, what do you think?
I thought it was great. I like the rhythm. I like the structure, the rhymes. It was good. I like it.
Thank you, thank you.
Leanne, I know you had some
Well,
you
I
were having some Wi-Fi issues. Were you able to catch the piece?
man, no. But if you will text it, man, I will be glad to read it. I'm
Absolutely.
so
No, you're
sorry. I
good.
had an
You're good.
internet.
You're good. No, we
I am so
understand.
sorry. I,
Um, but yeah, man, thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate it, and I'll catch you again in a few minutes for
Okay.
your next piece.
Cool.
All right, cool. All right, guys. That brings us to our second guest of the night, Mr. James Hamilton. I believe he is currently or soon to be doing poetry events in Wisconsin and possibly another state. I'll let him tell you about it. He's also a regular on the Nuyorican. That is a combination between New York and Puerto Rican. Nuyorican Poets Cafe show. most Mondays if he's not on the road. You can find that at neweurekan.org. He is also part of a community, multiple community outreach projects to support recovering addicts in the addiction community. And he has multiple poetry books out on Amazon right now. So go check those out. And if you want to follow him, you can also find him on Facebook at James Hamilton Author, or subscribe to him on YouTube at James Hamilton 8243. Now let's play his flyer and get him up here. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
What's going on, Dylan? Hey.
I appreciate you coming back on. Great to have you. And everyone loved our fucking Deep Cuts episode, man. My dad especially, I wanted to tell you, my dad wanted to give you a shout out. He super vibes with your style, really likes all your work, and really wants to check out your books and stuff. So yeah, he wanted me to deliver that message next time I saw you. Like he's really vibing with your style, and I don't know if he's able to watch tonight because he might be working, but he definitely told me to let him know next time you're on. So
yeah, we connected we connected on Facebook. Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Seems like a cool
That's
guy.
good.
Yeah, I've been out on the road. So today's Saturday. So I had 4 events this past week, and this is my 3rd podcast. So I'm a little bit tired, but I wasn't going to miss this for nothing, man. This has been on my calendar all week, checked off. So
hell yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I was puking 24 hours ago, but it's on my calendar every week. I sit my ass in this chair and I get it done. And to me, it's not really it's not a chore. It is a little tiring, especially when I'm recovering from being sick, to get everything set up and whatnot. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's worth it because it's not a chore to me. It's fun, and it's something I really enjoy doing, and just hanging out with people and talking and getting to know people and experiencing all this different kind of art. And it inspires me. I mean, right now, lately, I haven't been writing much because I've been sick, and that's not very conducive to writing mentally or physically. But yeah, no, I keep persisting with the show each week after week. So
you have to, man. That's when I talk to other traveling poets and stuff, and I tell them stories like that, they're like, "Shut the fuck up, James. You got to pay your dues." So you're paying your dues. You're out there. You're dedicated. You're doing what you do, and you got to pay your dues, man. It's cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I definitely appreciate everything you're doing, not only like in poetry and whatnot, but in the addiction community, and just going out on the road. Did I get that right? Wisconsin? You're going out to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'm out in Wisconsin. Last night we had a big slam in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, right on the shores of Lake Michigan, at a place called Harbor Lights. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. I mean, I cannot wait. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but one day I tell you there will be a stage with a Lostboys banner on it, and there will be there will be live shows in person. Yeah, one day we'll be able to get people to fly out and do shows. So that's
I am going to get out that way. I'm telling you, I'm going to get out that way. It's going to happen here, maybe 6-8 months, but it's going to happen.
Hell yeah. Yeah. That's definitely a goal. I have another friend. She's a guest on the show that, she helps produce or runs a company that produces, live events and whatnot. And she contacted me a while ago about doing something, maybe next year, I can't remember what state. Anyway, there's a live event that she's planning, and she wanted Lostboys as part of it. And since she invited me to that, I've kind of been looking into my own. But I live in a very small town, so it's hard to kind of get that kind of thing started around here. But there's some things I've been looking into, and I definitely would like to get out and do some live shows, even if it's like going to other people's live shows and performing and whatnot. that's always been a dream of mine.
I mean, all you got to do is start, man. I tell you, when I started, I would tell people, they're like, I don't know, we got a small. I'd be like, dude, I will come to your living room and stand on your couch and do this shit. You know, if it means sharing the word, I don't care. And that's how it started. Now I'm getting bigger and bigger venues, and things are happening a little bit faster. But you know, same message, same principle. I will go anywhere to read, man. I love sharing the word.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, so how long have you been performing? How long have you been performing on?
So I've been, so I would go to readings and stuff like that, but I'd say I've been full-time performing, between 12 and 15 nights a month since like last June. Really out and about and doing as many as I can. Combination of open mics. And then like this year, we got April National Poetry Month. My 5th book will be out on April 2nd, Impressions of a Bougie Homeless Guy. Drops on April 2nd. And I've got a whole bunch of like bookshop type appearances and signings and things like that to help, promote that in addition to open mic schedule and some paid features at art centers, some workshops, a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, dude, that's dope. And that's a super dope title. That's an interesting title. I'm interested to see what that's about. Yeah. But yeah, dude, that's super dope. It sounds like you got your schedule fucking packed. So I'm
starting in April. It gets pretty crazy, and like I said, I hope it gets crazier. I'd love to be doing regional stuff here by the end of the year. Definitely.
That'd be awesome, dude. I appreciate you taking the time to come out and do stuff on here, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the first one you're gonna be doing with us tonight?
So the one I got queued up here is Closer to the Street. So I don't know how many we're gonna do, but I'll do that one. It's the first one on my teleprompter. So
all right, cool. I'll drop myself out of here.
All right, sounds good. Black top, precinct beat, Braveheart, devil dog bag behind on my back. Angel dusted vitamin B and imitation THC pocket candy wine raging in my pack. Sexy sugar goth beats ring in my ears. Constant soprano shrill and tinny. And through candy sanitized vapor smoke, a kindred god fog clouds my eyes. Dropping wisdom as space junk floats in my tears. Here, standing, mirrored. I shout to conjure some misanthropic fueled rhetoric, insults I can throw back at the world I call you. And I drool, chewing on forage mint leaves, drinking hot water tea in a corner store bathroom while I pee and pray for something different, something I probably don't need. Some fresh idea or conflicting way, anti-matter for what is the matter with everything I see wrong with the way. For everything I have to take, for sporting my adrenaline-fueled synapse space social views on my sleeve. It's true, I am alive, irreverent, over the edge and on the fringe of public death, energy massage to panhandle for truth, adjacent normal beside the rest. Patronize, pity, handle, and exalt me while you watch me bleed, and I'll spit on the soil of your prejudiced land while you bump my fist, afraid all the time I'll steal your rings or the watch off your wrist, thinking you got over and up and that everything other than me is somehow better. Soup to nuts, A to Z, your society's beliefs. Our alphabets sport the same letters, yo, and it turns out you are the prisoner. Better, and better all the time, never best, see? My body might be shaken, tired, soiled, and homeless, but my heart frequency, my aura essence, and my soul roam free. So I will stay here in my place, vibrating there without a home, and forever closer to the street.
Damn, bro. That shit with you go hard with those metaphors. You are by far one of the most I can't even figure out a good word because I don't want to say like metaphorical, but you are very, very good with metaphors and the way you paint these. You have way of taking these vivid pictures and tying them to concrete ideas and or these concrete pictures and tying them to abstract ideas rather. And it is honestly mind-boggling, and frankly hard to keep up with. And that piece is one of those pieces that I'm going to have to go back and read and pick apart, because there were so many lines that I was stuck on. And then you got to the next one and I was like, oh man, well that, and that, like, each line in this piece is a poem in and of itself. Each metaphor and each simile in this piece is poetic in and of itself, and deserves a whole breakdown. But from your own words, what was this piece kind of about, and what inspired it?
It's just, we talked a little bit about drug addiction and stuff. Homelessness is another thing. It's a pet project, a pet thing for me. We've got entirely too many people in this country that don't have a place to call home. The bougie homeless kind of thing is homeless, but if you're crashing on somebody's couch for a couple of months, you're homeless, man. And there's just entirely too many people. So closer to the street here, I just got this dude who is, spending time in the bathroom of a convenience store, doing his thing, drinking hot water with foraged mint leaves and doing what he does while he takes a leak with his backpack on and shit, and just bitching about the world as it is,
I love your imagery, and it kind of reminds me. You did a piece on my on the Deep Cuts episode, where it was you painted this like scenery of that guy in the gas station who was drinking the milk or whatever, and like that's what you have, such a way of painting such a vivid picture, and then tying these vivid. I have a piece that I'm working on that I started after our Deep Cuts episode. And I actually, I won't give away too much about the piece before I'm done writing it and it comes out. But basically, a few weeks after our Deep Cuts episode, I went to the ER, and I was sitting there kind of watching all the people around me. And I kind of had one of those kind of introspective moments about where you kind of analyze yourself, and then you kind of analyze the people around you, and how society or their personal situations or whatever has gotten them to this place in time. And there's this guy complaining that he's in pain, but he's not actually in pain. He just wants drugs. And then there's this other guy who actually wants pain, but neither of them get the help they need, because they both are complaining in the same exact manner. And you never know you have inspired me with your imagery about the outside world and the way you look at it to use my surroundings as inspiration for my own poetry. So I really like that.
The thing is, I believe we pay attention, we connect. A guy on a radio show this past week asked me, he says, what's your process? So, how do you write? I said, I pay attention, I wait for the universe to send something down, and then I write it down. And that's about it.
Yeah, I was talking to I've probably talked to a few artists about this, but I was talking to an artist, I believe it was last week, about sort of channeling all of us, whether we play guitar or we write poems or we write songs or whatever. I believe that we're all kind of channeling the same force. We're all channeling this one artistic force, and we're kind of just conduits for the universe to spit it out through us. And so you gotta be listening, and you gotta be waiting, and you gotta be open to that energy and that flow of creativity and inspiration from the universe.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to another artist, and how some of the best things come out at like 3 a.m. because sometimes that's when the universe just decides to strike you with something. You wake you up from a dead sleep and just, I gotta write this down. Yeah.
It happens to me. I dictate in the middle of the night. I get up. So I'm getting older. So I get up 2-3 times a night to take a leak. And you know, it'll happen. I will dictate something into the phone that I don't even remember till the next morning. Yeah, and I wake up and go, oh, how about that? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's been some of my best stuff. Is I've written it down, half awake or just like not even, or while I'm at work, like thinking about other stuff, just jotted it down real quick, and then gone on with the rest of my day at work and forgotten about it, and then gotten home later, or when I'm looking through my Google Docs, I see a line, and I'm like, when did I write that? You know, and then I'll take that line and I'll just build off it and expand it, and that's sometimes the best stuff in the world.
Yeah,
To
most
I mean,
definitely.
a few of my pieces, and one in particular that comes to mind, "Speaking to Demons," is one of my favorite ones that I've ever done, and I talk about it so much. People are probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but the first line of it, it goes, "Listen up, Dylan. I'm talking to you. It's 3 a.m. It's dark in our room. Go put on your coat and put on your shoes. Pull up your hood. Now let's walk in the moon." And I wrote that years ago, just literally walking down the street with my hood up at night. And I pulled out and I was like, pull up my hood and I was walking, and I wrote it down. And I wrote that 3-4 years ago, and I just wrote "Speaking to Demons." I mean, 4 months ago, I took that line that had been stuck in my head for years, and I was just like, because that's something I really that gets me in the headspace to write, is going outside at night and walking. Something about walking at night, walking in during the day too, but something about walking at night puts me in a headspace to write, and that one line just stuck with me for years, and then I decided to build off it, and it became one of the best things I ever wrote. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, dude, that
Cool.
that was awesome. I want to see what David thinks about it, and I don't know if Leanne caught it, but what's up, guys?
Dude,
What'd you think?
that was awesome. So I
Man, I
love the
loved
way
it.
that you made
I
everything
loved it.
punch. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That
I
was
like the metaphors.
oh yeah, that too. But like I don't know, it's like I don't know, it struck me as like it seemed more emotional and more heartfelt than what it seemed, I guess, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I don't know, it like the it just hit hard, extremely hard. I loved it.
Thank
I
you.
loved it.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing it with us. We appreciate it, man. We'll catch you again in a few minutes for your next piece. All right, we are gonna bring Miss Leanne up here. I've been wanting to get her up for a few weeks. We finally got her on. Hopefully, her Wi-Fi holds out well enough for us to keep her on here. And yeah, y'all can follow her at Leanne K Don Hetzel. I believe that's how you pronounce that on Facebook. She's a super dope poet. She's been on here a few times before. She's been on here since I think like the second show, somewhere around there. So she's one of the OGs, one of the Lost Boy OGs. Let's play her flyer and get her up here.
Angels come, angels go. Why they come, we don't know. To bring us happiness, joy, and sorrow. Some come fast, some come slow. Through the rain, the sleet, and snow. So many angels in this world. So many angels we adore. Angels come and angels go.
Angels come and angels go. I love that fucking poem. I love that. It's so short, but it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
So
So,
how are you
how
doing
are you?
tonight? I'm good. I'm good. I know there's a little bit of
I'm
lag
doing good.
with your Wi-Fi.
There is a lot. I'm having a
It,
little
it
technical difficulty.
yeah, it's okay. We'll get through it, and we'll still be able to hear your piece. And yeah, hopefully it'll be fine. So anyway, how you doing tonight? If you want to talk a little bit about yourself, tell us. For those of us who don't know you, I mean, you've been here before, but feel free to.
Well,
You-
thanks for having me back. Appreciate it. My name's Leanne. I am 35, about to be 36. Been writing since I was like 11 or 12. And it all started off whenever my grandfather died, and then my aunt Amanda died, and I just a way to get my feelings out into the real world. And that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like I said when I was saying to David, like that is what this thing is like. What our poetry and what our art, whether you like I said, whether you play guitar or write poems or write songs or whatever, it's a therapy and it's an outlet and it's a coping mechanism for us before anything. And the thing I try to do by sharing it with other people is just kind of help other people cope and inspire other people to use it as their coping mechanism and whatnot. So I really appreciate that.
Right. Because we all got to get our feelings and emotions out. We all need to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, anyway, what's the first piece you're going to be doing for us tonight? Sorry about the lag, guys.
I'm gonna do a long time no see.
Okay. All right. I'll drop myself out of here and let you get to it.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Hey, stranger. Long time no see. How you doing? It's been years. Stressing out, feelings of fear. I needed you more than ever, and you just up and disappeared. Every day I think back when we sat on the pier. We used to stare at the stars, think of life where we would have been at in a few years. Now all I do is drink my beer, wishing for you to be near. I'll wait for you till the end of time, cross all the seven seas, even if I was deaf and blind. You're no stranger. You're just an old dear friend of mine. I miss you all the damn time. I'll wait for you. Why? 'Cause you're mine. You make me shine, even if I'm having a hard time. You're the motherfucker I wish to see, reality or even in my dreams. We come from the same types of family. I get you and you get me. Others think they know, but they don't see behind the scenes. I'll wait for you for all the eternity because I love you and know you love me. And know deep down we can be happy and finally be free. That's what I truly do believe.
And that piece. I There's a little bit of lag. I don't know when she finished it based on when I finished hearing it or when you guys finished hearing it. But that was a wonderful piece. I love the rhyme scheme. I love the emotion in it, and I definitely connect with um, missing friends and having lost friends and family members that I think about every single day. So yeah, I really appreciate that poem, and I really love the rhyme scheme. Um, when did you write that, and what inspired it? Hello, can you still hear us? Oh, I think we're having some technical difficulties here, unfortunately.
I between yesterday and today, right? I actually ran into one of my old homies that I grew up. Yeah, can you hear me?
Um, Leanne, you're cutting out a little
Is
bit.
that
You're
good?
breaking up. Uh, kind of. I think you're okay now. I think just keep it steady. Um,
Is that good? Am I good?
yeah, I can hear you. You're coming through. So when did you write that piece?
Kind of. Shit. Between last night and today.
Oh, okay. So it's a new piece. Okay, and what inspired it?
I ran into a long lost friend. We'll say it that way. A long lost friend, right? That I've known for like 20, 30 years, something like that. So we grew up together, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, I definitely get that feeling. I live, like I said, I live in a small town, so it's easy to run into people that people don't go far, especially in this state. I mean, even if you move to another town, like it's easy to run into somebody, and you can run into somebody you haven't seen in like 10 years. I get that all the time, and it takes me back like to a certain part of my life, and like uh depending on the person I meet or what part of my life I was in at the time, um, it can have a different effect. But yeah, I really like that poem, and I really like the rhyme scheme of it. It was really awesome, and especially you just wrote that as for a new piece. That's awesome.
thank
I'm gonna bring these other guests up to see what they thought about it.
you.
Worth the wait. Worth the wait. I agree with Dylan. The rhyme scheme was good, and I always it's tough for me when I write something that day or when it's what we call new shit. To come out and debut it, especially on a live stream. So I give you props for that too. So that's tough.
Definitely. I mean, I love the rhyme scheme. I love the way that you can actually picture like the whole feeling in it, you know? Um I loved it. I loved it. It's great, great piece. And trust me, for me having, you know, a stuttering problem and so on and so forth, you know, to be able to come up here and just read it, I mean, that's amazing. Amazing. I
Yeah,
loved it a
yeah.
lot.
Writing and performing are two completely different talents, and they both deserve equal praise. And not everybody realizes that not everybody that can write can perform, and not everybody that can perform can write. And it's very hard to do both, and it takes talent.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you sharing that with us. Hopefully, if your Wi-Fi holds in there, we'll catch you again for your second piece. All right. That is going to bring us right on back to Mr. David here. Mr. Total Poetry. What's up, man?
So, you
You
know,
got
I was looking online, right? I figured out I have a total of 247,511 followers.
goddamn.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I was like, Jesus. Of course, I mean, you have to understand though. I write in every single genre of poetry, right? So I have some like 111,000 followers of my erotic poetry, and then I have other, you know, I got I think a little over 4,000 on my total poetry page, and
Wait, hold
then
on. The first one, did you what was the first one?
erotic poetry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That one was
yeah.
that is that one on Facebook or
Yes, yes it is. Yes
I
it is.
forgot to plug I forgot to plug that
Yeah.
one. My
Yeah.
bad. I'm
Oh no
sorry,
no no
man.
no no man.
But
Trust me, you're good. Yeah, that's more for, you know. So I don't accept anybody on there that isn't 18 or older. You know what I mean?
okay, so
You
it's
know,
a okay.
it's really age restricted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, so when I put my videos up, now I don't, I haven't had any underage guests as of yet, but I'm not opposed to it. Like if a high schooler wants to come on and do something. Actually, no,
Yeah,
that's not true. My sister is 14. I've had her on. She comes down and she'll like do a surprise piece or whatever. But I'm not opposed to it. But I do when I like post it and everything. I do mark it as like explicit content
yeah,
on the YouTube feeds and everything like that. Because it
okay.
is like we do talk about and I give a trigger warning. Which oh man, that's I forgot my trigger warning at the beginning of my show. Usually we do a trigger warning, saying basically if anything upsets you, we apologize and we will not be insulted if you click out of the show and stop watching. Anything can trigger because you never know what's going to trigger somebody, and we talk about a
Sure.
lot of with the whole
Sure,
mental health thing, we talk
yeah,
about a lot of dark stuff sometimes, you
yeah,
know. Um, but yeah, that's why I try to put like a trigger warning and I mark it as explicit content because it's mostly adults on here. But like I said, if like because like I said, I was writing when I was in high school, and I would have loved the chance to be on a show like this. So if a high
right,
schooler like me wants to come on here, I'm completely open to that because I was that high schooler, you know. But yeah,
yeah.
no, it's mostly an adult show. And no, but I like that you have like the two different where you can because
Well,
on
well,
that
no,
show
well, see,
because on that
like,
one you can probably do a lot more shit.
well, like, well, oh yeah, definitely. So, well, the thing is, like, I write in genre of love and love lost and birthday and probably about a little over 739 categories, you know. So, and year to date, I think I've wrote a little over 11,000 poems.
God
So,
damn.
yeah,
Yeah. That's a hefty number. That's a hefty
yeah.
number. I cannot claim nearly that much. I
Yeah.
don't know how many I've written, but I know that it's not that much. I know that it can't even be close.
I
Um,
wrote. I write a lot. I write a
yeah,
lot.
wow, that's crazy, dude. That is a lot. Yeah, I mean, and you've shared a lot of your stuff with me too. I really
Yeah.
like your stuff. But yeah, and I mean, I go on your uh TikTok and whatnot, and there is like videos of you like reciting pieces. But this is the first time I've actually gotten to like hear you perform a piece and read. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude. Trust me. For me, this is all by memory. I'm not. I don't have anything in front of me. This is just what did I remember. You know what I
That's
mean?
dope because
So,
I can't say that either. I have my notes of all the people who are coming on the show tonight. I have my freaking notes of all the pieces we're gonna be doing tonight. I have my own piece pulled up. I have it all. I'm ADHD as fuck. I can't remember shit. I have it all pulled up in front of me.
well, see, I did ghostwriting for like rap music a lot, and so I write a lot of rap. And so that's another key thing is remembering,
Mhm.
so for me, I'll be driving at work, doing security, and I'll just think of something and I'm like, shit, you know you know so then I'll go to my dang Google Docs on my dang phone and just start jotting it down, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
right.
uh and it's like, man, like inspiration strikes at the worst moments. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Most of the greatest poems I ever wrote were at like between 2 and 4 a.m.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Like we were talking about, just like in the middle of the night, or fucking,
yeah,
or while I'm at work and I just need to go and jot something down. Yeah, man. For some reason, that's when the universe likes to hit us with shit.
yeah, yeah.
Not when we're sitting down trying to write. Not when we're like, okay, I've carved out an hour. I'm gonna sit here with my computer or my phone or my notepad. I'm gonna get it done. When you sit with, because for me, when I do that, fucking nothing. It all goes blank. I'm like, like
Well, see, I don't have that luxury. My mind
no.
never goes blank ever. I
You
mean,
might
I
not
have,
go blank necessarily, but it's kind of like when you've been studying for a test and you know all the answers, but then like when the question's in front of you, it's like you can't think of it. You know?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
no, I
So
definitely get
so yeah,
that.
I wanted to do cell phones breaking up families.
Cell phones breaking up families. All right. Well, that's no, you're good. Yeah, no, I obviously I can already tell what this one's gonna be about, but I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna drop myself out of here and get ready for it.
Alrighty. Cell phones breaking up families. So sad but true for some, their phone became their number one. They look and scroll the screen, not paying attention to anything, just sitting with paralyzed sight while children kick, scream, and fight for just an ounce of your affection until the battery dies and all that lies is just a reflection. But muted ears can't hear the tears born of rejection. So then they scramble to grasp a hound. So then, sorry. So then they scramble to grasp a handle on life's misdirection. But it's too late. Life can't always patiently wait on your phone's vacation. And this is the crisis that slowly entices most of our population. Yep. And that was cell phones breaking up families.
Dude, I really like that. And the words and this one line I tried to jot it down, but I was like kind of like writing with one hand while I was can you run me through that line again? Muted ears
Can't hear
muted
the
ears.
tears born of rejection. Yeah.
That is such a good line, man. That is so good. That
Muted ears
muted
can't
ears
hear
can't
the
hear the
tears born
tears.
of rejection.
Border.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is so good. Yeah, and the sentiment of it is so true, man. I mean, even when it's like a family movie night, we're all here sitting on our phones, or if it's a date. I mean, I try to put my phone away for those times. But like
Yeah.
we're all victims. We're all victims of the screen. Like it is enticed us and just controlled our whole lives. We've literally
Yeah.
we're starting we're scared of this whole Elon Musk like Neuralink thing, but
Yeah.
and I've heard him talk about it, and he makes a good point. Elon Musk has said that we really are already cyborgs. The only difference between us, the Neuralink, us actually being cyborgs, and now is the data transfer being slower. I have to actually pick up my phone to search whatever I want to search instead of just which now, don't get me wrong. I am not for implanting chips in people's brains. I don't want us to become cyborgs, but I'm just saying that in a certain respect, we already are. It's just that the data transfer is slower. We are already attached to our phones. We already have. If you don't have your phone, it feels
Yeah.
like you're naked. You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
it's crazy, right? Because whenever I was 11 or 12 years old, right, I could recite anybody's phone number I wanted to call. Now it's if I lose my phone, I lose every single contact that I have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I
You
mean,
know?
especially like when I was a kid, like friends that I wanted to hang out with after school, like I would have to either write that down, stick it in my backpack, or
Yeah.
make sure I remember that shit to tell my parents to call when I get home, or I'm not hanging out with that friend. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Because I
Oh
don't
yeah.
have their number.
Oh
I don't like. You know what I mean? There was
yeah.
no like I didn't and even when Facebook became a thing, I wasn't my mom was kind of strict. I wasn't allowed to have one. And she obviously didn't want her kids getting like sold on the black market, and I get that. And that's why originally Facebook you had to be 13 to even have one. Um,
Yeah.
but like yeah, no, I mean it has become such a and nowadays we can't live without technology, and we were talking about before the show how like we're doing mic checks and everything, and I was saying it's a pain in the ass and I hate technology, but I can't live without it. I couldn't do this show without it, you know.
However, there are wonderful advances that come with technology. Like,
Well,
okay,
yeah.
for instance, right? Okay, so a lot of people are like, "Wow, man, did you see that? This happened and this happened and this happened. It's crazy that the world is getting so bad." Well, you don't understand. The world was this bad in 1960. The problem was information wasn't out there. Now everyone's connected,
Yeah,
right?
you
Yeah,
know about some Karen yelling at a gas station in fucking
yeah,
minutes.
yeah. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, but see, back then, the world wasn't as connected back then as it is today. You know what I mean? Okay, it's not like these horrible things just now started happening. You know what I mean? They've been happening for a long time. It's just nobody really knew about it. You know what I mean?
and
It wasn't
to me,
it wasn't as widespread knowledge.
people say that we're on the verge of World War III, and on certain aspects I kind of agree with that because the whole world is in turmoil and whatnot. But on the other hand, I think that part of what caused or at least contributed to us having not one but two world wars is lack of information, lack of connectivity. It's
Yeah,
he said, she said. It's the game of telephone. And now you got
yeah,
fucking Russia mad at China or us mad at them for something he said that they said that. And but now it's Donald Trump can just fucking tweet the fucking leader of North Korea and directly tweet him right on Twitter and fucking, you know what I mean? The connectivity has become, which is on one hand it's helpful and on one hand it's dangerous. For the first time in our
yeah.
lives, for the first time in human history, if for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, for the first time we have access to instant connectivity and instant and that is only within the last 15 to 20 years that has happened. 30
Well,
if you really stretch it to the
yeah.
creation of the computer, but like instant connectivity and the internet has only been around for 20 years, if that.
Well, think about it like this. I do digital marketing, right? Okay. I do digital marketing, and people are surprised, right? Because I get people that actually come to me and they say, my business sells this or my business sells that. I need to find people that are interested in this or this or this or whatever, right? So I give them two options, right? I tell them, I say, listen, I can build you a self-working platform that will allow you to get leads all the time, constantly, right? I said, however, it's going to take time to push traffic through that. Or,
Right.
or what I can do is I can back math it. And I can say, okay, well, if you're selling this product and you're looking for people between the ages of this and this inside of an income neighborhood around this income, and you're looking for, people that are interested in this, and this, and this, and I can find anybody's name, address, phone number, email address, and anything else for free on the internet.
Yeah, that's absolutely it's insanity, and like I said, like for the first time we're able to be instantly connected, which is great, and it
Yeah.
has enormous advantages, especially with what we do with our art and whatnot. This is the biggest time for independent artists and independent podcasts and stuff like that. I
Oh,
mean, people on TikTok are just becoming millionaires off of stupid dance videos that it looked like a fish out of water. I swear to God. I don't even know what's going on with some of these dances lately, but I saw some the other day that was like just some guy like wobbling his knees back and forth and looking like he has a seizure. I don't know, but anyway,
every
if they can get
every single
famous off of that, I mean that's we can, the connectivity and the ability to put yourself out there and get noticed is absolutely insane, but also the ability for instant backlash. And I mean, if you go in pick any YouTube video at all that has over 1,000 views, pick any YouTube video at all that has over 1,000 views, you go in that comment section and immediately you're going to find at least one argument, one
oh yeah,
person that just came on there to
always.
say some shit or argue with somebody or fucking just literally. I see a video about a Deadpool or Spider-Man, and I go into the comments to see like what interesting theories people have about the movies, and it's just all people fighting about the fucking actor. And then like you know what I mean? For the
Yeah.
first time, we're able to, and it's made us so desensitized to other people's feelings because we're never going to see
And
that person. We can just say whatever the
that's
fuck
why.
we want. We can just be mean and cruel and fucking and we don't connect with it. We don't have any empathy on a personal level. Where they're just a name on a screen, you know.
So when I was heavily into marketing, right, my phone never left my hand ever. Okay. And it got so bad. It got so bad that my wife had to remind me, you have kids. You have a life outside of that little box. You know what I mean? And that's how that poem came about. You know,
It's
and
scary, man. It's
yeah,
scary.
it is. It is. It is.
I'm gonna.
I would spend between 17 and 19 hours a day on this phone.
Damn. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a lot, man. I mean, that doesn't even leave much room for sleeping or eating.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No, man.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you taking your time to be on your phone now, at least. Because without it,
Man.
like I said, man,
You know,
it's a delicate balance because we get to do amazing things like this,
I
and
set,
then there's that
I
other
set boundaries.
right.
I set boundaries, and I said, you know what? After this time at night, my phone goes off. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah,
And
that works.
that's yeah. So yeah,
I
it's
like it, man. We'll pull these other artists up and see what they thought of your piece. I don't know if Leanne was able to get to it, but James.
Yeah, I liked it. I like the conversation, explanation, and stuff after it too. I mean, cell phone, it's a babble nation right now. Doom scrolling is fucked up. That's just that's how it is. I throw my phone away from me as often as I can. So I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But the piece was good.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's definitely a piece that more people need to hear, for sure. And obviously, like I said, the only way to get it out there is unfortunately through technology.
Yeah, right.
But which kind of makes it it's like a catch-22. It's in a way, you know. You need the technology to get the word out there that technology's bad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you sharing with us, and it was definitely a dope piece.
Thank you.
If we have time and you still feel like it, you want to get to your third piece, we'll catch you again in a few minutes.
All right.
All right, man. So we're gonna go back to Mr. James here.
All right.
You ready for your second piece?
I am. Which one you want me to do? I could do Drive or Wicked. You tell me which one you want to hear.
Well, let's go with Wicked.
All right. We'll get it queued up here and we will do it. So actually that's pretty apropos because it's another one that's kind of about homelessness and it fits in with the new book release. Like I said, it's coming out April 2nd. Impressions of a Bougie Homeless Guy. This is Wicked.
All right.
Rest is for the wicked indeed, or at least for the wicked like me. Rest and peace and solace-filled sleep when my wicked needs. Yet it's never set aside in that place, and my brain always bleeds. And a storm rolls in outside these corrugated paper walls, and I wonder if the storm sounds the same to those who have a home somewhere away from here, away from it all. Thunder hammering on the roof sent down from Odin's favorite son, and the rain drops in the same way. And I listen to its colors and tones laying in the dark, inside out and alone. Through fractured dreams I see fluidly flowing blues, midnight and violet, constantly enhancing darkness's haunting hues. The cracking whiteness of bright sheets of paper light does its best to flash life across the somber landscape of night's tarry night. and the stars hide. Behind and above the storm, behind wispy wafts of Stygian smoke posing as clouds, and the colors are loud, and the sky chokes and sputters, and the moon behind shudders and shivers in the cold space beyond the weathered scrum, where oxygen withers, and before the specter of dawn shows its sun. And I lay there in witness to all of it, wicked as can be, where I realize it is in that view, that paradigm of wickedness, that wicked is all I see.
Dude, fuck yeah. I like that one, man. And I like the opening line, rest is for the wicked, at least the wicked like me. And there was another line that also really caught my attention. I lay there and I wonder if the storm sounds the same to people who don't have a home. That really caught my attention and really like centered the whole piece for me. And kind like that was kind of like a very grounding line, like almost like a hook for a song.
Yeah.
And it definitely like brought the whole piece together like that. And I love the way you the metaphors about the storm and the way you just made me visualize that storm and laying there and watching it, and the colors and the sounds and the sights, and it was just like I said, you are phenomenal with your imagery, and like I said, that piece, because I often like there's always that, like, you know, we were talking about at the beginning of the show, things your mom used to say to you, you know, oh, eat your dinner because there are starving children in Africa who don't have, like, that's always the line that people use, you know, there's starving children everywhere, there's starving children in America. But the point is that is kind of, sometimes you sit there and you wonder what, or at least I do, what other people are going through, you know. And I have friends who are homeless, and sometimes I sit there and I just wonder, like, you know, are they safe? Are they warm? You know, and just while I'm going through my everyday experiences, sometimes I neglect to think about the experiences of other people because I'm just so caught up in, you know, my everyday life, getting bills paid, getting my show done, getting whatever I need to get done, that you don't often stop to think sometimes about what other people are going through at the same time. Like you're sitting there an hour from work, tired as hell, your legs hurt, but at the same time, there's some guy on the side of the street freezing his ass off in nothing but a t-shirt and has nothing to eat. And you know what I mean? Like, shit could be a lot worse. And a lot of people take that for granted, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can remember my mother saying, "Yeah, there's starving people right here in America and stuff like that." But you know, today, I think we do a good job of feeding our people. I do. We are fat as hell in this country. I mean, walk down the street, man, go in a grocery store. We are fucking fat as hell in this country.
Yeah, but I think that's more
not putting our people to bed in houses at night.
No, and honestly, I think the fattening of America is more of a war strategy than anything. Because make no mistake, there is a war between the government and the people, and it is all in them making us fight against each other and making us as fat and stupid and weak and sick as possible. So the fattening and the diseasing of America is part of a war strategy, in my opinion. To just because that's how you can, it's control. You control the people. And if you're, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're 500 pounds, you can't run, you know, and that's a simple fucking, you know, but but it also, when we eat that kind of, like McDonald's, there was a whole guy who did a documentary about it called Super Size Me, and he ate nothing but McDonald's for like 6 months, and his whole body went out of whack. Like,
Yeah,
he was mentally fucked up, he was physically fucked up, and they do that on purpose to make us weak, to make us fucked up, so that we can't think.
I don't eat that shit. I don't eat that shit. No doubt.
Yeah. No, I think there's but at the same time, like we have a heart. I mean, not just homelessness, but even like these tragedies, like in California and in Maui. And I've talked about this multiple times, I think, on the show, or at least on Deep Cuts episode. The fires in Maui and the compensation those people got. It was like a one-time payment of $700, which is fucking appalling for the tragedy that they suffered. And we didn't give them shit, and they're one of our 50 states. But
yeah,
we
but
just
we'll
kind of
send billions of fucking dollars over to Israel for basically feeding a fucking modern day genocide. But the
right.
people in our own country, we don't take care of. Let's just get them fat as hell, and then let's make them sleep outside too. That'll solve everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, man. I appreciate you bringing light to that shit and out, being out here speaking the word. You said you said something on the Deep Cuts episode. Actually, it's right there on your thing. Soldier of the word. You're
Yeah.
most definitely a soldier of the word, brother,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it. I'm gonna bring these other guys up here, see what they thought, if they're still with us. Are you guys still with us? They might have. Oh, they're back.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think of James's piece?
I liked it. Did y'all see my fat ass cat?
No.
I think we might have
You were
lost
talking about
David
fat
for a
people.
moment.
Don't fat fucking cat.
But yeah, no, I really like that piece. I really enjoyed it, man. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I like.
we'll get to Leanne's next piece. And I don't know if David is going to be with us. He looks like he's having some trouble here. But if you'd like to do Drive before we end the show, you're more than welcome to.
All right, sounds good. If I got enough battery left for my Wi-Fi, I can hang in and do it. If I cut out, I'm out of juice.
Yeah, you're good, man.
All right.
All right. All right, Leanne. What's this next piece you got for us?
I have no idea. I haven't named it yet because I just wrote it like either yesterday or early this morning. I can't remember. And then yeah,
All right.
so
Well, we'll just go
I have no idea.
untitled and I'll drop myself out of here.
All right. Stuck in place. The emotion of wonder is written all over your face. When, why, and how to change my ways. Relive the questions asked every single day. Just wish I would have listened to what my elders were trying to say. Never thought my life, yeah, I threw it all away. So I ask myself every day, will I ever be happy, content, and okay? This, I'm not sure. Still stuck in this place. Change has to come this way. This is what I hope for today. I have to be brave no matter what happens and thrown in my face. I know I'll be okay. Still running the same race at the same pace every fucking day. I will continue for the rest of my days because sooner or later, I'll finish the race. No matter what place, as long as I keep smiling and keep my faith. No matter what, I'll be okay. Try for something better and new every damn day.
I like that, man. I like that. That was inspirational. And I like it kind of tied into like what we were saying about our parents and what they taught us kind of being our legacy, and just trying to be better each day and be a better person, and take the best parts of our parents and try to use them to be the best people we can. So yeah, I really appreciated that.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's worth a damn. I just wrote it, but oh no.
No, I liked
That
it.
was
I liked it.
on which one I should read because I wrote like 3. All right, cool. Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm gonna see what these guys thought about it. What'd you think, James?
I loved it, man. And again, I think the thing is when you got something new and you're debuting it on a live show like that, that takes stone. So pretty, yeah. Well, yeah, you did good.
Absolutely, absolutely, hell yeah. David, are you with us? Hello. All right, maybe he's not. I can't hear him. He's having some technical issues. It's okay. Um, but yeah, Leanne, thank you for sharing that with us, and I definitely connected with it. And I want to read all you guys' pieces like in text. So if you could send me your
There
pieces
we
at
go.
some point for sure. I definitely. Oh, you're back, David. You
Yeah,
back?
I'm back. I'm back
All
now.
right, hell yeah. Were you
I
able to?
had to.
Were you?
So no, I did not. I did not catch Leanne's piece, unfortunately. But so the thing was I turned on Wi-Fi and everything went black.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was your system. It was your system switching over between data and Wi-Fi. You lost
yeah,
connection for a moment there.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Thank you, Leanne. We really appreciate you sharing that with us. David, did you want to do a third piece?
Um, sure.
All right, cool. We'll get you to that, and then we'll do James's third piece, and we'll get out of here.
All right.
Let me
Sounds good.
see. There we go. Sorry, my computer went all wonky. We're all having technical difficulties. It's all right. All right. So what's this piece?
So this piece I wrote for a group that me and Laurelin created called Your Dark Self Poetry Contest.
Yeah. I'm part of that.
Yeah,
I'm part of that
yeah,
group. Go check it
yeah,
out on Facebook, y'all. Your
yeah,
Dark Self Poetry Contest. Great group.
yeah.
A lot of
And
great poets in there.
so we were having contests and we wanted to write a poem that would be you know somewhat scary or whatever and I wrote this poem
Laurel's,
called
dude, I tell you what, when it comes to horror and scary writing, Laurelin is one of the fucking best. Her shit
Absolutely
makes my fucking skin crawl
Crawl.
in a
Yeah,
good way. Like, well, in
yeah,
a bad way, but like it's good that she's talented. Like the good part is that she's talented enough to do that. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like I wouldn't necessarily say that the feelings that I get from a Stephen King movie or a book are good. They're not positive feelings, but he's an amazing writer for making me feel those things, and she's the same way. So yeah, any contribution she had on anything scary is, I'm sure, fantastic.
Man, absolutely. So you would imagine, with her writing the way that she writes, I have to try to come as hard as I can. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, so yeah, so I created this piece called "The Carnival," and she loved it. She said, "That's a great piece. I love that."
You sent
And
it to me. You sent it to me a couple of
yeah,
days ago. I listened to it.
yeah,
It reminded me right off of Laurel and stuff. I was like, oh, this is the, and the way you read it too on that thing. But yeah, I'm excited to hear you perform it. So I'm gonna drop
okay,
myself out of here. I'll let you get to it, man.
all right. The Carnival. Welcome to the carnival. Come and ride the rides. But as you enter this sinister venture, beware of what's inside. All the clowns make horrible sounds and blood covers their face. Tattered clothes are battered souls with minds no longer in place. They roam around the carnival grounds like killer robots. The blood spots, sorry, their overalls befalls all the thing blood spots. Of bodies thrown down on pallets and hit with mallets sorry that made the dang polka dots. The ones they like, they hang on a spike and tie them together with wires, then get off to the sounds of the screams they make when being pinched with pliers. The razor blade above the face makes a sorry. The razor blade across the face makes a bigger grin. Below the nose, the razor goes just above the chin. They work to the sound of the merry-go-round, plotting your demise. They They drag you down to the ground before the wound dries. Then they package you up with maggots and such to help breed the flies. There's landmines placed at all the escapes in case you try to run. You can come in, but once you begin, now you're a part of the fun.
That was dope. That was dope. And we got Brandon over here. He's giving his 2 cents. That was dope. Here, I'll pop you up on screen. Turn your camera on, bro. You fucking give your hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was super dope. It was super dope, man. It was dark, and I love the flow and the rhyme scheme of it. The razor blade, like yeah, that was dope. It was definitely like it made me think of like kind of horrorcore rap.
Yeah.
In a way.
Insane clown posse almost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that kind of
yeah.
vibe. Razor blade just above the face. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like it's great. It's just that was awesome, and I encourage people to go check that out. And I will actually, if you want, since I have the video, I can post it on my thing.
Yeah, sure.
But on his what is it? What's the name of your other TikTok that you had up
Poetry
here?
is a gift. For that I will not boast, because in this
King.
Poetry King of All, poetry _ King of All. That's the one that it's on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
make sure y'all go check that out because it's super awesome, and the way he reads it on that too, with the graphic and the sound effect, just super dope. But yeah, that was great piece, and very very reminiscent of you definitely came with it as far as writing to Laurelyn's style and yeah I like that. I like that for sure and shout out to Laurelyn again.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, I love writing horror poetry. I do. The problem is whenever I write, I try to add as much detail as possible,
Mhm.
right? Because I want it. I want people to be able to actually picture it. You know what I mean? And so, like if you ever read my poem called Love, it's about spousal abuse. You could, I mean, you could literally picture it. Like, I mean, it's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah,
I like to add in as much detail as possible.
I like that. And that's, I mean, sometimes I find a hard balance between adding too much and adding too little. But yeah, you definitely, and like I said, I've read a lot of your stuff, and you definitely find a good balance of not over explaining, but not under
Yeah.
either. You definitely paint a pretty good picture, and there's just enough detail to draw you in and make you um care about the whatever the story you're telling or the concept. You're good at that for sure.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us. I'm gonna bring I think we lost Leanne. Her Wi-Fi might have cut out. I'm not sure, but James, what'd you think?
So I like the illusion. That was good, and it got me thinking about killer clowns from outer space, man.
Right. I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember that.
I remember that. Yeah, it scared the hell out of me when I was like 9.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what it made me think of anyway. Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I am gonna have to go check that one out. I am not
Yes,
familiar with that.
do that.
I'm
Totally
not
worth it.
familiar. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. I like that. And I honestly, I haven't written. I wrote one thing back when I was in foster homes where I can't remember much of it, but it was horrorcore, and I think I was talking about like burying a doctor in their lab coat behind a dumpster or some like crazy like fucked up Eminem type shit. Just like I was listening to a lot of horrorcore rap, and that's like the closest thing I've ever written to anything like dark or what or like not dark. All my stuff's dark, but horrorcore or horror or anything like that. But I'd be interested to kind of get into that and try to see where I could lead my pen.
Yeah, hey, a lot, so I always tell myself, you never know unless you actually try. And so I have a thing that I actually share out a link where that people can actually sorry where people can actually request poems, and I write poetry for people a lot. So I'll get anywhere between 55 and 100 requests a week, and I'll just
Damn,
write them out. You know what I mean? But yeah.
that's cool, man. That's cool. Oh yeah, dude. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you. Yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show. If you want to stick around till the end, I'll just bring everybody up just to thank you one more time. And yeah, bro, appreciate it. I'm gonna drop you out, and we'll do what was it? Drive.
Yep, I'll give you a little setup. So I travel around a lot. I wrote this one in the car going to a stage show, and it's just about observations while you're driving and kind of how your brain wanders, and you just think about random fucking shit sometimes, and just kind of brings it around. So that's the setup. It's called Drive.
All right, cool. John, myself out of here.
Painted lines, green highway signs, reflection stripes and brush-colored brush, velvety violet gray asphalt on the ground, gravelly grooves, concrete slush, beautiful traction. And I look around hard, I'm believing, above the sun's beating, the air streaming, and the sound of tires and motors screaming. How the road can fill up the hollow inside, roads between here, there, and everywhere, stifling my running hide, deflating my polka dot parachute, and generally pacifying my jitterbuggy mind. So I don't give a shit. So I don't care about any of it. Is it mental masturbation, thought process subjugation, subjective signals and information, distraction, reaction, extrasensory perception dumbed down? And I frown because I lost my place. I lost the why I'm in this fucking race. And then again, was it even a race in the first place? Or just monkey shines all the time? Or is it all in my mind? Damn. Energy beaming, batshit, country, rat riddled, visual hallucination, audible paradiddle, telepathy steaming along, fortune teller programming, rewiring, wrong. Code flaw, ball crystal mystic, some source sending misery, poison program psyche, energy algorithm pissing on me. Duality interchange, one way a captive, one way free. Most days neither switchback even feels like me. Man, I shake my head, ears ringing in dread, tears in my eyes, blood pressure rise, and I tell myself to focus on the road ahead and just fucking drive.
I like that, and I like how you ended it too. I like how you ended that. With just bringing it, you went on this long tangent of introspective thoughts, and then brought it back to just. And I tell myself just focus on the road and drive, because at the end of the day, like you can. The way I took it, at least, is you. Most people have heard the Serenity Prayer. I'm sure you've heard the Serenity Prayer. You have to accept the things you cannot change, and know the difference between the things you cannot change, things you have the power to change, and the things you don't. And that kind of how I took that line is just like, I focus on the road ahead, because that's what I can control right now. I can control this car. I can control this road. I can control, where I'm headed. But I get unfortunately, my car is in disrepair right now, so I haven't had a lot of time to go around cruising. But it was something that I really like to do is go around and just, not even have a destination, just go and take a road and drive it and see where my thoughts lead me and see where the car leads me. And I've gotten some of my most deep concepts and lines and stuff for pieces out of doing that. And I love that line where you said the road fills up the hollow. I'm misquoting the whole line because I didn't write the whole thing down.
Yeah,
but
it's all right. It say, let me get there. How the road can fill up the hollow inside. Roads between here, there, and everywhere, stifling my running hide. That, yeah.
Yes. That line resonated with me so much. So much. That's such a good line. And the rhyme scheme of it, the flow of it, it's fucking awesome, man. I really like that. Really like that piece. And I really liked how it was structured like a poem, but it was also more of just a monologue, an inner monologue.
Yeah, definitely. And at the end there, where it's focused on the road ahead and just drive, I have a tendency. I probably should have qualified this in the beginning, Dylan. I am not a very good driver. I'm just going to tell you that right off the head. I really am not. I don't really hit shit, but I wander and I do shit and I text and I sing and fucking write and do whatever I got on the road, but so that's kind of what that is bringing it back around and saying, shut that shit off, audible, paradiddle, visual hallucinations, all of that shit going on, because I need to focus. So I don't know this for sure, but I could have probably came up with that end because I probably almost hit something.
Yeah. I've had quite a few moments like that, and I'm not proud of it. But I will, and speech to text is a lifesaver for me. When I have a thought in my head, I need to get it down, and I hit that speech to text button and just, narrate it into my phone. Absolutely, dictating with your phone is a lifesaver, literally a lifesaver nowadays.
It could definitely be a lifesaver for me.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. I'm gonna bring Mr. Total Poetry up here. See what he thought.
Man, so I love that piece because like he was saying, it was like your inner monologue talking. It wasn't like you talking. It was just your thoughts. You know what I mean? And so how that it wrapped around every possible other thing that you could be thinking about besides what that you're actually doing. I mean, great piece. I loved it. Great piece.
Hell yeah. And Brandon's over here cheering you on too.
All right, Brandon. Drop the hammer.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear him because the mic's a little quiet, but he's saying that the piece I have tonight that I'm going to share here in just a minute, it does a little bit. It's an inner monologue. And it's I didn't mean to. It's an inner monologue, and it's called Memory Lane, and it actually starts off. It's walking rather than driving, but it is very along the same lines. You're right, Brandon. So thank you. That being said, I'm gonna drop you guys down here, and this one is called Memory Lane. As I walk these old roads, the sun boiling me from the inside out, my shadow pulls me towards the ground, as if daring me to look closer, to come nearer, to dig deeper, to pry into the deep, thick, dark dirt underneath and drag up the broken skeletons and buried treasures of my past that I didn't know were still down there. I choke on the air around me as though it is the smoke of burning souvenirs and forgotten keepsakes collected over the years. I've walked these roads under sunshine. I've walked these roads through storms. I've walked these roads in the eerie silence of night. I've walked these roads in the crisp fog of early morning. I've walked these roads with friends, and I have walked these roads with enemies, and I have walked these roads alone. As I walk now, I can feel the impression of those memories sunken into the land beneath my feet, like an oil spill, the land becoming so saturated with the past that I start to sink in it. I know that if I do not keep moving forward, I will surely be sucked into the fathomless depths of memory and be trapped forever lost in the sands of time. The worst part, I suppose, is that a part of me, a big part, wants to sink. Sometimes part of me just wants so desperately to abandon the path ahead and live the rest of my life living in the nostalgia of better times. I keep one foot in front of the other and try to my best to stay sane. But if my past comes back to haunt us and he's looking for someone to blame, give that kid a walking stick and tell him I'm waiting on memory lane. And that is memory lane. What do you guys think?
Wow, that was
I think that was the
awesome.
best piece that I've heard you do on here.
Well,
Bar
thank
none.
you. I appreciate
was
that.
the best one I've heard you do.
That was an awesome piece, Dylan. I loved it.
Thanks. That's man, that's been in my vault for a while because I appreciate you saying that's one of the best you've heard or the best you've heard because I didn't think so for a while. I really didn't think so for a while, and I kind of had it in the vault just like this because it wasn't really a poem to me so much as an inner monologue. Until I added that last line, which was I think a few months after I wrote the piece or just that monologue. I added the line about like if the past comes to haunt us, give that kid a walking stick and tell him I'm waiting on memory lane because it wrapped up the piece. But until then, it didn't really feel like a poem to me. It just kind of felt like a monologue. So I wasn't sure really where I was going to fit it in my poetry thing. But I'm glad to hear you say that. I like.
Hey man, it's a poem when you say it's a poem. It's whatever you say it is. You do you better than anybody else does you. So when you're, writing or reciting what you feel, I always say I write what I feel what I write. And if you're doing that, you're true to yourself. I don't care if they call it poetry or fucking graffiti or what, call it whatever the hell you want. It's art, and it was good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So we are our biggest critics, no matter what, right? Okay. So I've written, like I've said, 11,000 poems or better. Okay. And of those, I probably like 3.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to be very critical. I don't share something unless I'm very confident and but quite honestly, first reason I pulled that out of the vault was I haven't been writing much lately, so I didn't have much else to share. And 2, I vibe with James's style and I kind of thought that I kind of had a sense that that piece would fit with the vibe of the show tonight and what James was doing. So I definitely nailed that. You're right, Brandon. You're right.
Yeah, I like the way the whole unearthing of skeletons and whatnot. I mean that was I don't know. It just created that dang mental picture. Walking through like a Sahara desert almost. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
with like an endless road ahead. You know what I mean?
I wrote it. Well, I wrote it walking down a dirt road in 90-degree heat. I was, I mean, the poem starts out as I walk down the road, my sun boiling me from the inside out.
Yeah.
Like that was a real, I was just pulling from my I was just walking down the road and I was thinking of like, I have lived in this town like for 7-8 years now. And a lot of that was high school where some of that was my most impressionable memories. And just thinking of just a lot of, I've walked that same road under a lot of different circumstances. And there are just so many, and there are just so many memories. Like I see a certain tree or a landmark or something, and it just brings back like a flood of emotions and a flood of memories. And because I still walk down that road. I still walk down that road to this day. You know what I mean? It's literally right. The road that I'm thinking of is this one right down here. But I also, but it's a very relatable poem, I think, because a lot of people probably have that road that they think of when I read that poem. There's someone. Most people think of like, oh yeah, I know that road. Like I know that neighborhood. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it was an inner monologue. It was kind of just like my inner thoughts of just like, man, this, no, and all the memories I've gone through too. And the thing I kind of didn't touch on in the poem is like all the memories and all the things how much I've changed. That road still looks the same as it did 6 years ago. They still don't grate the thing properly. It still has potholes everywhere. It still looks exactly the fucking same. But yeah, no,
That's all of your hard-earned tax dollars put to work.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you listening. I really appreciate you guys being here. It's been great. Everybody, go subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, all of them, everywhere. Go subscribe, and we'll catch you again next week on Saturday at 9 p.m. Peace out, everybody.